Hey guys, good morning, good afternoon, good evening. I hope that you're well and welcome to new movie reaction. Welcome back, or welcome if you're new here. My name is Kilian and you might want to know that I am a filmmaker. And so I'm really interested by the movie that we are going to watch today. It is called Chinatown or The Koinoka Girl. I believe there are two titles, international titles. This is a patron request from Reese Ira Ola. Thank you very much, Reese, for your support. And I know nothing of this movie. Usually when I pick a movie myself, I'm going to do some preliminary research, obviously. Obviously the titles, but who made the movies, what genre, basically not reading the story, of course, but what am I going to watch as in cinematic works, But for patron request, I asked the person who requested them to just tell me what they would like me to know about this movie before jumping in. And since Reese doesn't want me to know anything, I know nothing about this one. So I'm going to be really blind jumping into this one. We're obviously going to be reviewing or trying to analyze, decipher, the writing, the directing, the sound, the image, everything and anything really. So if you're here just to watch the movie, well, then maybe don't watch the video because I'm going to talk non-stop most probably. This is kind of the point here. So enough about me, we're going to jump right in. But before that, the full-length version is available on Patreon, link down below in the description box, or all the links to my social media and the Discord server if that's something that you'd be interested in. Also, don't forget to subscribe so you do not miss a new video. There's lots of things going on the channel, movies, TVs, trailers, other analyzers, everything and anything really. So that's it. Let's see what this movie has in store for us. Let's go. The end is like being freed from the pain, and it's an interesting family because we had, the nemesis brother, the loving brother, the kind of difficult brother, named brother, not because of his disability, but because he was really unsettled about his feelings, and then he wanted to kill Il-young, and then you have the helpless sister with Song and mother, and you have Il-young just kind of lost in the middle of all of this. She was never like the others. She never totally went on with the family business, and she meets this guy who is the beacon of light that she's never had in her life. And if we'd kept him, it's the guy represents everything that I said in the beginning. Yeah, it was basically a movie about hope, I believe. So this guy was full of hopes about his father, about his job as a cook, about going to France. And all of that's been ripped from him. And as much as to a character like Il-young providing hope and possibility is a great motivation, getting that taken away from her by killing the boy is definitely like a no going back kind of milestone in the movie. And so it totally makes sense that this is how they decided to begin with. Obviously this moment is both confusing because you're like, what, her mother is killing her, but it totally makes sense. It wasn't gratuitous, which is some movies will do at the beginning to hook you, or some TV shows. It was not gratuitous. It makes totally sense. Even the dialogue in it totally makes sense. And yeah, getting that hope, that beacon of light ripped away from her is what, just makes her like, there's no going back now. I'm going to end all of this. Even though she didn't have a will, to kill everybody or for everybody to die or everything. She just wanted to see it through and make out of it. But she just got roped into Shido's shenanigans and hatred, and one thing just followed another. And it all just kind of went sideways, really because of Mother, because of her wanting to kill the boy. If Mother never had wanted the boy to get killed, none of this would have ever ended, because Il-young would never have had to protect him, thus injuring Hongjo, I think was his name. And, the filmmaking in this movie was interesting, though I did not find it. It did not blow me away. What really blew me away was the script, the writing. And when you have such a good script, it makes the filmmaking 10 times easier, because you pretty much just have to film the action. Sometimes when you don't have much to film, you try to make up with fantastic shots, with fantastic sequences, one shots, fantastic music, fantastic whatever, And here it wasn't the case. The script was fantastic enough so that you just have to basically just film what's written as it is written, and let the action develop. The fighting sequences, the chasing, the tensed moments and everything. There were barely any, there were little artificial elements. The only thing where I found it to be rather disruptive, or noticeable at least for me, was when she was trying to protect the boy. They may have had a need here, though, for artificial elements such as the music and the shaky camera, because the scene itself is just Il-young screaming at the boy like, you need to leave, you're going to get killed and everything, and him just being really calm. But if you want to be worried really for him, and really worried for Il-young as well, because she's betraying the family, and so you don't want her to get caught, you need to have these artificial elements to enhance on the panic that she's experiencing, and on the panic of the moment, on the urgency that there is. So that moment, it was noticeable for me, but it was okay because I feel like it was needed. What wasn't needed, though, I feel, was the death of the brothers. During the death of the brother, that had the pen in the throat, and Mother, the music that there was in these scenes, I didn't feel like it was necessary. Obviously, the music comes in, it's violent, basically. It's violent. And I didn't feel like it was necessary, because I feel like the scene was poignant enough, so you wouldn't need to try to enhance the sadness with the violin. So to me, it took a little away, because I was like, why is there music in here? So to me, it took me a little away from these scenes, except for the mother scene, because obviously overall, maybe for the brother, it had to be the fact that I didn't exactly get why he was so much trying to protect you, but yeah, just the music itself didn't fit quite in place for me. And for Mother, kind of the same thing happened, though the dialogue that happened with Mother, and the fact that this is Mother, she's at the center of everything, really mesmerized me. That scene really mesmerized me, and so the music, the presence of the music, did not bother me as much as for the death of the brother earlier. Now, coming to the character of Mother, she's not motherly, but she still behaves like a mother. Does that make sense to you? She's not like cocooning her children, though she does a lot of things that a mother would do for her children, looking after them. Basically, what I want to say, what I'm trying to say is that it was tough love, but like 10 times tougher than regular tough love. And I love the fact that the intentions of everybody in this movie aren't so clear, because basically it would have made first for a longer movie, and I don't believe it was necessary, and both second because it makes it way more interesting. Not that you do not need to know what the characters want and are trying to do, you still need to have a frame. But in life, it's very rare that people are giving you their intentions bluntly. And so I love it, because in a majority of movies, characters' intentions are given. You could be like, okay, so I know, so we can focus on that now, on what's going to happen now that I know what they want and everything. But here, they were definitely going for the really naturalistic approach. And people in life, they don't just talk about their intentions all the time. And while the characters don't talk about it bluntly, it was even announced by the filmmaking this time. So it remains to see if this is a filmmaking or a writing thing. But we were never really shown the characters' intentions either, when there was a phone call, or just as a big example, the papers that Mother placed in the locker at the end of the movie. When she went to the locker, you just see her at the locker and looking in and everything, closing it. You don't see that she's placing something, or that you don't see her fiddling, or you don't know exactly what she's here. So I don't know, if in the script it was written like Mother places something but we don't know, or Mother just looks at the locker, or if this was a filmmaking decision to not show certain things. It works fine by me. You theorize during all along the movie until everything plays out, and it's fine by me because it makes it interesting. We feel young, you don't know exactly who you can trust, you don't know exactly who's going to turn on you or not. I wouldn't say it's a thriller movie, because it was not about trying to resolve a mystery, really. It was just about trying to make it through her life. And so to me, it's really a naturalistic movie. And I really enjoy it. I really enjoy that. And it's interesting, the ending, everybody dies, the places are all empty, and you get on this fade to black that brings about the end. And to me, that could have definitely been the ending of the movie, The idea of Il-young's character was about to find some sort of peace, and she's never had it. She's always been in this Chinatown thing. And now all the family is gone, all the peace, the suffering she was experiencing, the silent scream that was raging from her, all of that is done now. That all of this is gone. Could have been the ending. And then you have the epilogue. In the epilogue, she's smuggling humans. She's basically doing what her mother was doing when she was brought Il-young the first time. And then she's doing the spiritual thing. I think it was for spirits. Tell me in the comment section down below if I'm mistaken, but felt like it. You know, with the... I don't know how it's called. It's for others. I know it's for ascent and then the drink. It's almost like mother, like daughter, you know. She took things up, but maybe in a better way that mother was doing, in a more sane way. And I want to say sanitary, because living in these places was not sanitary at all. And it's really funny, because as much as there was a miles separating them, they were in the end pretty close. And pretty much just like mother killed her mother, Il-young killed her mother. It's definitely thing mother like daughter, and the ambivalence between nurture versus nature. Cobra Kai, people. And it's really clever, it's really striking, it's not like it's echoing one another. The two characters are echoing one another, but it's not presented as is in the movie. It's not like you have the same scenes, but different characters. It's just in subtle things. Obviously, the chanting thing, ritual thing, it's done the same way, but you need to really pick up on it, and to, by the end of the movie, to really think about the fact that she did that, the fact about that mother said that she killed her mother, the fact that in the very beginning of the movie she was smuggling people and giving passports. It's a puzzle. That movie is a puzzle, and a really well done one. And I'm going, obviously, to make some research to know if it's been internationally out there or not. And it's funny because there's really, the story is, well, the environment is not relevant at all. You know, you cannot identify to the environment that she's growing up in, but you can definitely identify to what she is experiencing, to a certain degree, obviously, but difficult relationship with brothers and sisters, with parents, people outside of your inner circle, you know, the food thing with the boy, going to cinema, enjoying little moments, sleeping on someone's shoulder, things like that. And this is what makes you connect to the character, even though she's surrounded by this mad environment, this mad concept of a family, of the Chinatown, the mafia family, where they are just rescued children that she's taking with her. Because at first you think child labor, you know, but then they grow up and she's still with them. She doesn't really say I love you or anything, but she does things that kind of say I care about you to some extent. She obviously has some of her favorites and others not. And in the end, like the postmodern love thing, the adoption papers, and she wanted her to know, obviously, because she placed that in the locker. She gave her the key. You go. And she said, I'm sorry, I can't help you. It was almost like mother wanted to do good, but was unable to. And this is what brother said, the brother that died with the pen. He said, you can't hate mother. Something like that is said. And it's difficult, you know. You have children, you want to do the good thing. Sorry, you want to do the right thing doesn't mean that you are going to be successful at it. And it's not because you want to do the good thing that you are going to do the good thing. That's basically what I get from Mother. So, yes, that was my first time watching Chinatown Con Rock Girl. By the way, I prefer the Con Rock Girl title to Chinatown. Makes more sense to me. I don't know when this movie came out, but I feel like it could have almost been called Mother, you know. Obviously there's Darren Aronofsky's movie Mother, but so that's why I say I don't know when it came out. But because the movie is revolving around this figure of Mother and Il-young, obviously, but in the end it's almost like Il-young became Mother, so to me it would make sense that this movie could have been called Mother. One last thing I wanted to say was the thing going on with the blur. Like I said, I think it only occurred when she was with Mother and when she was with the boy. It was like this was a personal relationships, strongest relationships, bubbles. When they are together, there's nothing else that matters really. When she was with the boy, it's almost like the family did not exist, you know, and she was just mesmerized by this boy. And when she's with Mother, Mother is like this gravity pull, you know. She's an old woman. She's not tough, but she has this gravitas about her that is pulling you towards her, to obey her, and just to listen to her and just to kind of converse with her, even though she doesn't want to. But with Il-young, there was this connection, and you just want to be like that when there's that connection between the two of them. So it makes sense that they would be blur. And so, like I said, Mother is not tough and everything, yet everybody was referring to her, everybody was paying respects to her. It's a tough character. But in the end, I think she kind of died with bittersweetness in her mouth. Granted, she was spitting blood, but even though she may not have been able to do what she wanted to do for Il-young, she got to see that Il-young was now standing up for herself and that she was not useless. You know, she was doing things, she was standing for herself. And I think it, as a parent, seeing that your child, even though he's killing you, seeing that your child may be doing well for themselves, or fending for themselves, may be an accomplishment, or may bring about sense of pride, because she was kind of smiling when she died. So yeah. So thank you very much everybody for watching that movie with me. Thank you very much yet again, Riz Iola, for requesting this movie. If just like Reese, you'd be interested into requesting a movie that you feel like I should definitely see, or upon which you would like to have my analysis, Patreon link is down below in the description box. So is the full-length reaction to this movie. I'm gonna fare you well. Don't forget to subscribe if you're interested in more reactions like this. I'm gonna see you soon for a new reaction. Thank you very much for watching. Until then, please take care. Have a nice life. See you soon. Bye.